Hi, thank you for clicking on my video. My name is Beth Ann of Beth Ann Stamps. This week, we're going to be looking at some designer series paper, DSP pattern paper. And this week, I'm looking at thinking outside of designer series paper matching stamps. Seems like a mouthful, right? But instead of thinking outside the box, thinking outside of the designer series paper with the matching stamps. And the reason I bring that up is because this paper in particular that I'm looking at is part of the celebration. And it is, if I can find the right page here, it's called the Rings of Love. And it actually coordinates with the Ringed with Nature bundle. I don't have that bundle. I would love to be able to buy every bundle that's in the catalog, but that's just not something I could do. But I love collecting paper. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And even this paper, right? So I placed a purchase. I qualified with over $50 to get this for free. And these colors are just amazing in these papers. So when I look at paper, I not only look at what is the matching set that Stampin' Up! Intended you to use with this, but what do I also have in my stamp stash that I can use with this? And in this case, today we're going to work with these two papers with the bluebirds and the acorns. And excuse my nails, I haven't gotten a manicure this week. We were on vacation last week, and I know they're a mess, but I wanted to get this video done. So I have two cards that we're going to look at, and these are my cards. When I saw this paper with the bluebirds on it, I first thought of this eclectic garden set with the bird here. And why couldn't I use that with that? And also keep in mind that you could simply pull out an amazing phrases and just put sentiments on here and use it. I mean, the possibilities are endless, right? When we start thinking about designing. And for the next card, I saw those acorns and those leaves, and my thought immediately went to Nuts About Squirrels. And so these are the two cards we're going to make today. So let's just jump right in and get started. I'm going to start with the blue card. And this one, both cards start with a 5.5 by 8.5, scored at that 4 1/4. And I did take an extra piece of the DSP at 1 inch by 5 1/4 and put it on the inside just to continue that on. And again, all my layers are the same. As you can see, this is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And in the coordinating blog listed below, you will find the dimensions also. And then the DSP is cut at that 1/8 of an inch smaller. So that's cut at that 5 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to attach that. And then I wanted to bring some ribbon in. Now, most of the colors in this are soft suede, but I just thought for a fall card, it really needed some ribbon. So I brought in to use this Early Espresso ribbon. I think it's very pretty. And so let me put some of that, find the top of my card, and then I just, if I can get my stamp, and there it goes. It doesn't want to work today. So I just put some of the double-sided tape or the Stampin' Seal. And then I just put this down, wrap it around, line it up where you like it. And then once I have that pressed in there, grab my scissors, pop that off. And then I'm going to glue this down. We'll center that on the card base. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and build the next card base because it's done exactly the same. Only this time with this paper, I'm pulling out what's in the leaves, and that is that Poppy Parade. All right. So we'll build this one. And again, I wanted that ribbon on here. I'm looking for the bottom. Come on, why am I not getting this to work? It may be running low. No, there we go. Okay. So again, I just see where I want to put this. Ah, I can't hold on to anything today. Isn't that awful? Okay. So there we go. You can put it as high or as low on the card front as you like. All right, so now we have our card bases built. And there we go. So the next, now I did bring in the deckled rectangles, and I used the 4th from the smallest to cut this out. I think it's about 2 1/4 by 3 5/8. So we are going to stamp these. So the first one we'll start with is the bird. And I chose Sending Bright Wishes for a Happy Day. And I am doing that in the tuxedo, Memento Tuxedo Black. I'm just going to put that along the bottom. It just fits from side to side. And then do the bird. Ink that up again with that tuxedo black. And then you can decide if the bird's tilting, if it's straight. It's totally up to you. Oh boy, I better line that up well. There we go. So I do not mind that it's off the side there. I'm fine with that. I need to grab something to clean my stamps with. Okay, so I'm just going to set this to the side, and I'm going to bring in the other one that we want to do. And this is the Nuts About You. So I'm going to put away my black ink. I'm not going to be using that. And I'm going to bring in Poppy Parade, Soft Suede, Crushed Curry, and Night of Navy, which matches the colors in here. And the first thing I'm going to stamp is my squirrel. And I'm going to do him in Soft Suede. See if I can get him. Hopefully I got his top of his tail. I did. Now, he is a double stamped. So there is a solid image here that I'm going to ink up. And I'm going to have to pull this into my line of sight to get that lined up. Get his little ears. I gotta stick my head in here. Sorry. Let's see. I think that's it. Please. Oh, well, you know what? I'm not going to waste this little guy. He's pretty close. But what I can bring in are my blend markers. If I want to fill in a few places here that instead of him looking like a skunk, I think we can get this to fill in. Let's see. Hate to waste a stamped image, right? I think that will do. So we now have him filled in. And now we also have for the little acorn that he's holding. I'm going to do full strength on the little acorn cap. And then on the narrow image, there's really a place where his hand is. And then I'm going to stamp that off and stamp that in there. And then you don't have to, but I sort of like to bring in the leaves that are in the background forward. So this is where I'm going to bring in again, it's a dual stamp. And I'm going to start with the Poppy Parade. And I'm just going to stamp these randomly. And they don't have to be all the way onto the image or onto your background. You just want to fill it in. Make sure I get that cleaned off because we're going to stamp those in multiple colors. There, I think I have that cleaned off. That Poppy Parade really stains things. Okay, so I want to do a couple in crushed curry. And I'll do one here. And then again, I'm going to clean that off with my baby wipe here. And I'm going to do a couple in Night of Navy. All right. I'm leaving the center open here for my sentiment. And then we have the leaf. Now for that, I'm going to stamp it off because I want that to be lighter for the veins to show through. And I think we have one up here. Okay. So close my crushed curry. Clean off my stamp. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the Night of Navy. I just really liked how this set coordinated with this DSP. So always take a look. I mean, their papers are gorgeous. And I don't know if anybody else is like me. It's a habit to collect papers. I think I also took up scrapbooking a few years ago because I'm like, I have all this paper. What am I going to do with it? And I have all these photos of when my kids were young. So I am trying to use everything up. All right, so now I'm going to use the soft suede to stamp my sentiment. I'm just going to check it there. Yep. And I decided to use Nuts About You. There we go. Move those over. I'll clean them later. I also brought in, I just thought put him on the ground maybe, the squirrel. So I brought in some mint macaron, and I just put a little bit underneath here. Up to you if you want to do that, just to give him a place to stand. All right, so we have that one done. Let me bring back the bird. Again, I wanted to match my background. So again, I'm going to use the blends, the mint macaron. I think everybody pronounces that a little differently. So I'm going to color my leaves. And I'm just using the fine point here, getting those filled in. You can come in and put a little detail in with the dark to get that shading. Just enjoy the process of coloring. You know, I have learned a long time ago, it's not always about perfection. And I think you've heard me say that before. It's about enjoying what you're doing. Now I'm going back over those edges with the light to blend that in. I want to enjoy what I do. I don't want to get stressed out over how perfect or imperfect it may be. And hopefully the people that you're sending them to aren't the type that are criticizing them. That they just enjoy that you made them something and sent it to them. My branch is going to be the soft suede. So just fill that in. You can put a little bit of dark in there if you want some accents. I'm not going to go over that one again. I'll leave it. For the belly, I'm going to use, now there is not a crushed curry, but I'm pulling in Daffodil Delight. I'm gonna fill in, and I did this, decided to do this to mimic what was already on the paper. So bring in the dark, color that, and then when that dries, that'll blend. And then, of course, the color of the bird. Let me do the beak here. Now, I realize this bird looks a little different than the ones in the picture, but I don't think that is a reason why I wouldn't do this. Is this the light? It is the light. Now, with the bird, what I found was he needed to be a little lighter. So I did not use the dark pen. I only used the light pen here. And then to get an even lighter version, as you can see, the birds are pretty light. I brought in the color lifter, and then I went back over this to lighten that up in spots. So because I wanted to make the Night of Navy lighter, so that let me do that. Let me went out of the line a little. I'll see if I can push that back. And then the other thing I decided that I was going to do, well, you know what, let me attach these first. So I'm going to come in here. I might have pulled a little too much color out of there, so we'll see. But that color lifter is really nice to give you that lighter shade. So we're going to pull in some dimensionals here to put these on our card front. And I'm going to use some of these edges. Use everything you've got, right? See, I may not have cut it across the bottom. When you're a crafter, we don't want to waste anything. And as a friend of mine said, we don't want any sagging sentiments. So yes, I use a lot of dimensionals there. All right, we'll do the same over here. Get these filled in. I cannot believe it's August already, and the middle, it's the middle of August. Let's see, I'll just put it here. Time is going so fast, and the celebration only lasts through the end of August or while supplies last. So if you wanted to get some of this designer series paper, make sure that you get your order in before the end of the month. Okay, so I'm gonna peel these off. I know school's already started, has either started already for some people, or it starts next week in some areas. Summers go way too quickly. But I do look forward. We travel a lot in the summer, love to camp. But I also look forward to the fall and especially the winters. I live in the Northeast, and so it gets cold, but those are the times I can stay inside and craft all the time. And fall is probably my absolute favorite season. How about you? Do you have a favorite season? Guess it depends on where you live too, because for a long time I lived in the state of California, around the middle, just north of Sacramento, and it was like the same season all year long. But I do love fall. All right, I think this one I'll offset also. So there we are. This is this one. But then I wanted to come back to this bird. I'm leaving the squirrel just as it is. And see, when I put in with the blends, I don't even think you can really see where I did that. It fills it in. But with this one on the little birds, it had a lot of little white. And so I just brought in a white Signo pen and just sort of drew some little lines here. And I thought, you know what? It's yours. You can do what you want. I sort of took out the black marks that were highlighted in there and just sort of put some white on it. And he's yours. You can do what you like on them. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about making a beautiful card and then sharing those with friends and family and sending them. And even if you end up with me sometimes with too many cards, you can always donate them to different organizations. I know people love to get cards in the mail. So I hope you like that this week, and take a look at your designer series paper and see what else it matches within your stamp collection, because the paper is just too beautiful not to use. So I hope you enjoyed this week's cards. As always, I'd really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up, click on that subscribe button and that notification bell below so you can get notified when other videos go live. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.